Boy, oh boy, do we have a self-own for you today. And of course, it comes from the main source of modern self-owns, Twitter.com. If you want to make a complete fool of yourself, then look no further than the internet's town square. The year was already off to a great start for Twitter self-owns when Jim Hoff, aka Gateway Pundit, tweeted about the polar vortex, where he said, "It's a bit cold outside this morning in middle America. Aren't you glad you aren't heating your home with a solar panel like nitwit socialist AOC is demanding?" And that tweet, it's proudly still up to this date, despite how stupid it makes that person look.
Yeah, that guy's gonna lose his mind when he actually looks up at the sky on a cold day.
What do you mean the sun's out?
But when we're talking about one of the grandmasters of Twitter self-owns, you can never forget to mention young Jacob Wohl, someone we featured on our Worst People of 2018 video, who is a self-proclaimed Trump fanboy and disgraced former hedge fund manager. And when I say disgraced, he's banned from trading for life by the National Futures Association for failing to cooperate with a fraud investigation. Jacob Wohl was a gift to Twitter because literally everything he tweeted was arguably the dumbest thing possible. Aside from replying to literally every tweet that Donald Trump sent out by just dousing him with loving affection, he was also most famous thanks to his liberal coffee shop tweets where he would eavesdrop on conversations happening around him at his local Los Angeles hipster coffee shop and tell the tale about how all of these hipster liberals were actually secret Trump supporters who were just scared to publicly acknowledge their affinity for our president. Tweets like these.
"I just left a hipster coffee shop. It was packed with liberals whispering amongst each other about what a commendable job President Trump did with Vladimir Putin this morning in Helsinki. America is proud."
Even coffee shop hipster liberals are marveling at President Trump's success with North Korea.
"I was in a hipster coffee shop, safe space, here in LA, and the libs were whispering to each other how @Real Donald Trump is doing great for the economy, got them a raise at work, and will definitely be reelected in 2020.
The list goes on and on. It's a meme. I'm pretty sure it has a page on knowyourmeme.com.
Yeah, there's tons of these tweets.
After Jacob Wohl got his taste of fame with the whole liberal, hipster, safe space coffee shop comedy routine, he needed even more attention. And soon enough, he would get the attention of the whole nation, who got to mock him relentlessly after he launched an investigation into special counsel Robert Mueller, where he teamed up with a fellow brain trust, Jack Berkman, whose previous investigative work included that whole Pizzagate thing and getting shot in the ass by someone that he hired to help him investigate Pizzagate. Together, they claimed to have evidence of a sexual harassment claim against the special counsel, and they would reveal their evidence, including an appearance by the woman, the victim, who had made the claim.
Now, as you're probably aware by now, their press conference was a joke. The woman refused to show up. The intelligence agency that he claimed to have gotten the information from was a fake company with fake employees.
His own fake company.
Yes. And also the FBI actually launched an investigation into him and the claims that he'd made publicly.
Oops.
So this whole thing, it didn't hurt his ego one bit though. And he powered through the embarrassment by continuing his bullshit Twitter rants and by starting various conspiracy theories about Supreme Court Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg, Senator Kamala Harris, and most recently, Minnesota State Representative Ilhan Omar. And, as much fun as it was to watch this idiot constantly make a fool of himself online, there's a lot of people out there that we can only assume took him at his word and actually believed the shit that he was spewing. Which, yeah, that sucks. But whether you enjoyed mocking his tweets or you were one of his loyal followers who regurgitated his conspiracy theories elsewhere online, like the commentator on some of our videos who just wouldn't stop posting about how Ruth Bader Ginsburg was actually dead and the liberals were trying to cover up her whole death thing despite, the many public appearances that she had done during the conspiracy. Sadly, whichever side you're on, you won't get to hear from little corn-cobbing Jacob Wohl anymore. At least not on Twitter.
So early on Tuesday of this week, Jacob Wohl was officially banned from Twitter. And I'm sure there are a bunch of people watching this who would probably rally behind him and say that this is an attack on his freedom of speech. It's anti-Republican, it's anti-conservative. But Jacob Wohl wasn't banned from Twitter because of his tweets or his beliefs. or his conspiracy theories, or his obsession with Donald Trump and conservatism in general, Jacob Wohl was banned for multiple violations of the Twitter rules. Specifically, creating and operating fake accounts. And this time, it looks like these accounts weren't just for boosting his ego like the Women for Michael Cohen accounts, which are all just...
They've transitioned.
Yeah, now it's all about Women for Internet Today. No, he was creating fake accounts in order to influence the 2020 election. And yeah, that's a pretty bold claim.
That's a big claim.
That's a serious accusation.
Yeah.
Where's your proof, Internet Today?
How do we know this?
No, Jacob Wohl, the fucking dweeb, that he has actually admitted to this in a recent interview with USA Today. He just told everyone, I've been operating multiple fake accounts to influence the 2020 election.
Yeah, and I plan on doing more of it. And then USA Today was like, I've been working this story for months. And he just told us. The USA Today article, which was published just before he was banned on the site, and, you know, probably most likely helped Twitter make their decision.
Yeah, kind of admitting to rampant TOS violations.
The article's a doozy, and it even allows him to willingly let everyone know that almost everything he's done on social media has been complete bullshit, as if it wasn't blatantly obvious anyway.
Including?
Yeah, well, there's some real juicy tidbits in here, and believe us, the whole article is worth a read. But let's take some time to let Jacob Wohl himself tell you about the ridiculous online presence he no longer has access to.
Yeah, so the whole article starts off with his campaign to reignite the birther conspiracy, but this time targeting California Senator Kamala Harris, who recently confirmed that she would run for president in 2020. Wohl had claimed that she wasn't eligible because, quote, she had immigrant parents and spent part of her childhood in Canada. Sounds like Ted Cruz, actually.
That's what I was thinking.
Anyway, after making these claims in a separate interview, Wohl proudly exclaimed, "The believability stuck at about 15 to 18% by my measurement. Not a bad campaign." Those are low numbers, Jacob.
Yeah, pump those numbers up.
And as you'll see, he really gets off sexually on the idea that people believe his constant lies, with one quote from him stating that, quote, "The accuracy of the information he spreads is not the important part. All that matters is how far those claims travel and how many people believe them."
Now, let's go back to the whole Robert Mueller accusation real quick. The woman at the center of it, Carolyn Cass, who never showed up to the whole press conference thing, she was interviewed for the Wohl story and stated that Wohl, quote, "made it up, deceived her with a false identity, and tried to coerce her to appear at the news conference against her will." And when the outlet told Wohl about this, he said that he, quote, "couldn't speak about the situation because of a legal non-disclosure agreement with Cass," who denied such an agreement exists. Regarding all of his coffee shop tweets about how he listens in on conversations between hipster liberals who secretly love Trump, would you believe that those were all made up too? Well, Wohl willingly admits this to the reporter and adds, "I'll literally hear one thing and I'll flip it 180 degrees.
Oh, wow. I've been going from coffee shop to coffee shop here in Los Angeles looking for the Jacob Wohl coffee shop, but I haven't been able to find it. Also, he did, at one point he admitted which coffee shop he was talking about, and it was like a Coffee Bean and Tea Leaf in like Brentwood.
Yeah, also he invited the person who wrote this story for the USA Today to a coffee shop in Orange County, and he claimed, they didn't verify it, he claimed that he was concealing a handgun.
Pretty sure that's not legal in the state of California.
Legality is a... Jacob Wohl likes to dance on the edge of legality on most things here.
I think it's legal with, like, you gotta have a very specific set of permissions. But in general, no, you can't just go around California with a gun.
Regardless.
A concealed weapon. You just can't. Anyway, being a liar isn't necessarily against Twitter's terms of service. We all do it. But the main reason for Jacob Wohl's ban was the fake accounts thing. So let's peek inside the creative young mind of young Jacob Wohl and see what he had planned for this upcoming election. From the article, Wohl disclosed a raft of schemes he says are in the works that he hopes will resonate in the run-up to the 2020 presidential election. He says he plans to create, quote, enormous left-wing online properties, such as deceptive Facebook and Twitter accounts, quote, and use those to steer the left-wing votes in the primaries to what we feel are weaker candidates compared with Trump. Huh, now this sounds familiar.
Yeah, I think so. But let's not talk about that right now. That's a whole other can of worms. you liberal cuck.
And by the time you're watching this video, there's
more developments.
There might be a hearing happening at the U.S. Capitol about a lot of this stuff. Anyway, another scheme of young Jacobs was seeking to collect damaging information on left-leaning nonprofits, including Media Matters for America, the Southern Poverty Law Center, and Right Wing Watch by offering their insiders moral reconciliation. And if that doesn't work, things of worth, such as money, aka bribes.
So in the hours that followed both the USA Today article and his Twitter ban, NBC News was able to pinpoint at least one account that he'd started in order to launch his very legal and very cool plan. Very legal and very cool. In a phone interview, they presented him with an account called Women for Howard Schultz. We are not fucking joking about this. And shout out to all the Women for Internet Today accounts.
All of you. We love each of those accounts.
They presented him with an account called Women for Howard Schultz. Howard Schultz is the ex-Starbucks CEO who inexplicably threw his hat in the ring for the 2020 election in what we can only assume is to prove once and for all that CEOs have no business running for public office.
Yeah.
He's a terrible candidate. We have no idea why he would invite so much public scrutiny into his life, considering he could just float through the rest of his life at ease without a care in the world.
He could buy a country.
And just move there.
Yeah, if you want to be a ruler, you could literally buy. There's got to be a dozen or so countries in this world where you could just be like, I'm Howard Schultz, here's
$11 million.
What are you doing, Howard? You fucking asshole.
Yeah, anyways, because he is so unelectable and not a great person, conservatives latched onto him, knowing that he's basically got zero chance of winning. And that seems to be why Wohl chose him as part of his plan to promote the worst Democratic candidates possible as a way to secure an easy win for Trump.
According to the interview he did with NBC, Wohl initially said he did not create the Women for Schultz handle, before backpedaling and claiming the account. Quote, "Thank you for reminding me," he said. "I tweeted at it to be goofy, but it's not a fake account. I was tweeting about women's issues that Schultz happens to be good on." He said he doesn't see a problem with the strategy. Quote, "It is not illegal, unethical, or untoward for Americans to steer an American election. I'm an American."
I am a real American.
Jacob!
Yeah, it's like he's comparing it to like going out and like raising awareness for your candidate by like handing out buttons, putting a sign in your front yard.
But like doing it while dressing up like a woman.
Yeah. I just love that Howard Schultz.
I'm a big fan of Howard Schultz.
He makes the best lattes. And you know, he loves coffee.
Yeah, Howard Schultz, the world's largest purveyor of hipster coffee shops. It's a match made in heaven.
Exactly, yeah. Anyways, with all of that out of the way, we should add that, you know, it's safe to assume that all of this, all of it, the lies, the conspiracies, the fake accounts, these are all just Jacob Wohl's ways of getting attention. The attention that he so desperately desires.
Yes.
And it could also just be his way of tricking the mainstream media, which he ironically refers to as a band of lying goblins. And he tricks them apparently into reporting on his fake news as a way to make them look stupid for even investigating the claims. Like, oh,
you idiot! Yeah, I was only pretending to be an idiot.
Yeah. It's basically him saying like, oh, look, hey, look, the fake news is reporting on the fake news that I made up, and they're refuting it. They're so dumb. Why would they even give me attention unless they knew there was some truth to it? Gotcha. And literally, as we were waiting to film this episode, it came out that, oops, he might have forged some documents from the Southern District of New York, claiming that there was a subpoena to investigate the Trump administration.
And that's
the Trump organization. And
that's a lovely one too, because
the basic investigative journalism done there was, hey, Southern District of New York, are these files legitimate? And they go, no, these are forged. Also, that's a crime.
And that journalism was done by Jacob Wohl's like
arch nemesis in this
the
scenario.
yin to his yang.
Yeah.
See, on the right wing, you have hucksters and grifters and people like Jacob Wohl. And on the left side of things, you have hucksters and grifters like the Krasenstein twins and mortal enemies. They're the ones that found that. It's, oh my God.
We
I
are
love this
living in
so
a
much.
reality show, and if it wasn't so scary, it'd be a lot of fun.
It would. So yeah, I mean, look, we're reporting on it. You got us.
Yeah.
But we're reporting on it because he's fucking ridiculous. It's baffling that this is a real person who thinks that any of his actions are a good idea and don't just make him look like a complete weirdo moron.
Yeah.
Also, we're not the real news. We pretty much just exist to mock people like him who can't stop making themselves look stupid.
Yeah.
So, there you go. But
Yeah.
at the very least, the fact that Jacob Wall knows and is willing to admit that everything he says is bullshit at least shows that there's some kind of brain floating around in there.
Yeah, the gears are turning. He's not medically
He
stupid.
has his methods.
He's not medically stupid.
No.
Yeah.
No, he's actually just bad. He's a bad person.
He's a bad person.
He's like a shittier, dumber younger Roger Stone with a different skull shape.
Yeah.
And he has no problem with being a bad person and deliberately preying on people's beliefs and emotions. He's not good. All in all, this whole thing, and this will not be the last we hear about this. It's a great start to the year for self-owns. One of our favorite things, because the best example of this type of person just self-owning himself on the platter, it's just so good. It's so good. It's so good. I'm honestly...
He self-owned himself off the platform that he cherished the most.
I'm sad. I'm going to miss Jacob because, like, every day... I didn't follow Jacob. I just followed a lot of people who fucking hated Jacob.
And would post the quotes,
yeah, they would bring me the best Jacob bits.
Yeah.
And now... It's just not the same. He's on Instagram, but it's like, that's a whole different world that I'm not interested in.
This certainly isn't the last we've heard of little Jacob Wall, the corn cobber. And we're sure that he's taking this Twitter ban as a badge of honor that will only empower him further. Mm-hmm. Oh, here we go. Update. It did. Because shortly after the
ban?
Yeah. Where's the ban hammer? The ban hammer. Shortly after the ban, he posted a video on his Facebook page, and I guess his Instagram too, where he states that this could not have happened at a better time. Jacob Wall is the #1 trending topic on Twitter right now. And during this, he showed off a screenshot of the trending page with the reason that he's trending conveniently covered up with a wall of text.
Oh, it must be that I'm trending because everyone loves me so much.
Jacob Wall trending for being super sexy and very hot. And
living for Jacob Wall.
Yeah. Still, though, we patiently await his next investigation and eagerly anticipate all of his coffee shop conversations wherever he makes them available.
Well, now that he's mostly using Instagram and Facebook, he can just live stream all of these very real things that happen. Also, he straight up admitted that the coffee shop thing is not true.
Yeah, we said that. It would literally tweet the opposite of what people were saying.
But now we can see.
Now he's gonna do like what the YouTube pranksters do, where they just hire actors to like have conversations in coffee shops.
He's gonna pull a Joey Salads.
Yeah.
By the way,
he's running apparently. Can't wait for that debate.
Everyone who loves Joey Salads, go fuck yourself because he's not good. Anyway,
not a good person.
But I think he watches our videos.
Yeah. Hey, Joey.
Fuck you, Joey.
Yeah.
Anyways,
can't wait for those debates, Joey.
To Joey Salads and everyone else watching, go to our Patreon. You can get there very easily by going to ethicalscams.com.
Or clicking the link below.
Or patreon.com/internet.
You can also become a member of the channel by clicking the join button under the video, unless you're on iOS, in which case you get nothing.
You get banned.
But if you're a Patreon supporter or a member on YouTube, we're going to be posting a new Q&A episode where we had some questions submitted, and those will be available to members and Patreon patrons. But in the meantime, go watch the latest episode of Weekly Weird News and the latest episode of News Dump, and we will see you very shortly for a new episode of Tech News Day. And we just bought a game to play on a new live stream, so get ready to smash some stuff together live.
Smash some stuff together.
Bye, Jacob.
Bye-bye.
We miss you.